Hello, YouTube. Oh, I did it too far away. Hello, YouTube. I'm gonna be talking about boundaries, which is not necessarily something to do with autism. This is something that everyone should practice having. I honestly have never used a little mic like this, so let me know what you guys think. But anyway, so today we're gonna be talking about boundaries, but first, I have to talk about something that happened. Thomas Henley is a YouTuber, or like they made a video with me like in it, and I'm just kind of like stoked about it. So if you guys want to go watch it, please do. I thought that it was really cool that I was included. Someone commented on my video. They were like, "I found you from Thomas Henley's video," but I just wanted to say thank you, Thomas Henley. I am sick right now, so if someone orders something on Etsy, I'm not gonna be shipping it for a while. By a while, I mean like until I no longer have the virus in my system because I do have COVID. I feel okay. I just don't want to get anyone sick. So I have a lot of Lysol and disinfectant items. So let's get started. But yes, I've never talked about boundaries, and I kind of thought this up and sort of organized it while I was at work because I knew I needed to talk about this because a lot of autistic people have boundaries and a lot of us don't. And a lot of us aren't sure what boundaries are socially acceptable or are too much or are too little because we see a lot of other people not have an issue with standing up for themselves, and that's something that maybe we had to sort of watch other people to learn, well, when do you stand up for yourself, or how do you even know if you need to stand up for yourself? Like, how do I know if I'm being targeted or attacked? And so I've had to sort of think about that, and I'm ready. I am now ready to speak on this topic. I took notes. We're ready. What are boundaries? Well, if you want to think literally, which I think helps me, I love to think literally about things. Not because it helps me understand it so much, but because I love how exact it is and how well it like is true when compared to like analogies, or just like they just seem so true. Like when you think of a boundary, you think of like a wall or like an obstacle or something that's in the way. That's pretty much what a boundary is. But I think a lot of us think of walls, or we think of doors, even a clear sheet of plastic like plexiglass or something, maybe even like a window. It's a boundary, but each one of those boundaries can be crossed to a degree, or it can't be crossed. So I think that this will be a very interesting video because I have thought about it. So I wrote that a boundary is a wall between you and another person, explaining it as simply as I possibly can. So if you have a wall between you and someone else, well, what kind of wall is it? There's like like a divider, like at work, like in a cubicle, or it could be a brick wall. Radioactive particles go. There's like lead walls. There's cement walls in dams. There's lots of walls. You don't have to think like there's like this whole thing. It really started, I feel like, in 2016, but it became more obnoxious in 2020 after everyone was like, "Oh, we're leaving this in 2020." Like, shut up. I'm just kidding. But no, like the whole like I'm leaving this like in 2020. Like we're leaving this in 2020. Like if you can't respect my boundaries, like you gotta go. Like if you do this to me, you gotta go. Like don't even text me, don't call me, don't do this, whatever. But you don't have to just throw people away. You don't have to like just stay away from anyone who does anything to you that you don't like. Like the equivalent of that would be like having like an electric fence like outside of you. Like your boundary would be an electric fence. If you do even the slightest thing, like if you get even a little close to me, you are done for. You will be fried. That is what that is like. And you don't have to be like that for every single thing in your life. And you don't have to think that, oh, I need to get stronger, I need to be like that, I need to be like I need to have like an electric fence around me to be safe. That's not true all the time unless you are literally fighting for your life. And I mean that literally, in a literal sense. There are different boundaries. There are different things we have. I have my fish tank. The fish tank doesn't need to be made of titanium. Glass will do. I can see them. I don't know if they can see me. I don't know. I don't even know if they're intelligent enough to know that I'm a being outside of the glass. But the point is, it's not necessary for the fish to have a stronger boundary than the glass. If I have like a person who I enjoy seeing, but they do certain things that I don't agree with, they can have glass. We can see each other. They can see me, I can see them, but I'm not stepping into their life or into their world. and they won't step into my life or my world, my personal space. Like, I'm not gonna dig my hand into the fish tank and disturb their life, and they're not gonna jump out of the fish tank and jump into my room, and they would die. But the point is, that's one boundary. It doesn't have to be titanium. It doesn't have to be electric fence. Like, I don't have to, like, shock them to death. So you can have a glass boundary with someone. But the thing is about the different types of boundaries is that with a brick wall, you can't see through it. With a lead wall, you can't see through it. If you have a brick wall between you and, a certain family member, they won't know anything about you. It won't hurt them, if they tried to come up to your boundary because it's just a brick wall, but they won't be able to get past it. They won't be able to get through it. And the only way they can is like Squidward. When he so everybody went through the brick wall, like the crash dummy scene. It's so funny. It would hurt them. It would hurt them to get through the wall. So like if you think of like this stuff like literally like that, like it would hurt someone to push through a wall. It would hurt someone else to push through a boundary. Like maybe they have to destroy their own reputation to get to you. Something like that. Like that's why I love thinking literally because it just makes so much sense. Some boundaries need a door. Some doors you can just open because they're unlocked. You just kind of need to knock first, or you don't knock. Some doors are wide open. Like some boundaries are just like doors that are wide open. Some boundaries are literally cameras, like me perhaps, like a boundary between me and you is this camera that can see every single thing, like 30 frames or 60 frames a second of me. There's a public boundary between me and you guys, like a public boundary, but I also have boundaries in my personal life. And so with everything that I do, I have different boundaries. So let's say for Steve, I have a glass boundary, and for Sandra, I have a brick boundary. For my dog Bruno, I have an open door. You can literally hear him barking. For Tasha, I have a lead boundary. I don't want even her particles reaching me. And for Jimmy, I have an electric fence because I don't want Jimmy getting near me at all, and I want there to be repercussions if he does. Those are all like different boundaries that I have just for myself in my life. Those aren't real people, but they're just examples. That's how I think that I look at boundaries. I have boundaries for different people. It doesn't have to be I throw anyone away if they do this one thing. Like, yes, you can, but like maybe you could just set like a stronger boundary. Is it too late to set boundaries? No, it's not. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. It's not too late. I can prove that myself, and I've seen a lot of people who are much older prove it as well. It's not too late to set boundaries unless you believe that it's too late to set boundaries. That's pretty much it. There are situations where it actually is too late, but I think in most cases, like you just like people will tell you that the thing is that people who are used to crossing your boundaries will be the ones to tell you that it's too late to set boundaries. I don't know. It happens all the time. They're like, oh, well, you slept with 75 guys when we were in high school. Why do you think you deserve to respect yourself now? People will tell you that it's too late to set boundaries, but it's really not. And F those people. Matter of fact, give those people the electric fence boundary. Like, okay, well, if you think it's too late for me to be a better person or a better version of myself, then I don't want you anywhere near me. Someone wants to tell you that you can't be a better person, that's probably not a good person. Probably not someone that you want near you. And that's why so many people don't try to be better, because there are people who are so against thinking that people can improve, like very cynical. And so they don't want you to get better. They don't want you to have good things because they don't believe that a person can become better. One thing that helps, like if you are afraid that it's too late to set boundaries, you can literally plan. You just plan like what do I need to do? What do I need to do to start setting a boundary? Like you just plan it for weeks or however long. But in the meantime, you can slowly withdraw from certain people. And this one's a very safe thing to do. Sometimes you have to create your own little bubble to be in, and you have to push other people out of that bubble for you to be safe, for you to set boundaries. Like you have to pull yourself away. Like if you're hugging someone, there's not a whole lot of space for building a wall there. There's really no like way for you to put a boundary between you if you're hugging someone. So maybe you have to unhug that person and back up and build a wall, or An electric fence, whatever the case may be. I love the electric fence. You can slowly withdraw and start to put up boundaries. And what that could look like is, okay, well, on Monday, this person did this to me and I didn't like it. So I'm going to put a clear barrier in between me and this person. They can't see it. They can't see the barrier, but it's there. And they can't cross back into my life, but they think they can. But they don't know. They have no idea because it's a clear boundary. If it was an electric fence, they would try to come in and they would get extremely hurt. It would hurt them because what you did in retaliation is you cussed them out or you did something violent or whatever, you like slashed their tires or something. That would be the electric fence. But if you just have that glass wall, like if they bump into it, they're like, what's this glass boundary doing? Like, what's this plexiglass doing here? And you can tell them, well, the plexiglass is there because you did this. And then if they get angry, you put the electric fence up. Not really, but no, you just do whatever you want to do as long as you don't harm someone. Physically, I mean. Like, I don't like to tell people to do violent things because I don't like violence. Maybe you don't put up a clear boundary. Maybe you slam the door in front of their face. You tell them, look, it's over. That's it. It's never too late to do that. You just decide it one day, right? Or you can build a boundary brick by brick. Actually, I can't come over today. That's one brick you're building. That's a little piece, but yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. You want to go to the movies? And you're like, actually, I don't think so. That's another brick. And then slowly, you have built a wall. And it's a wall that they can't get through. It's not just like a plexiglass wall because plexiglass is a sheet. It's already built. You just get the size that you want. Have loose rules. Just sort of like, okay, it's like when you laugh something off and it's like, okay, well, let's change the subject. Or you can have strict rules like, hey, that wasn't funny. You know what I mean? Like, those are your boundaries. I'm going to talk about now, because now you guys know that you can set boundaries. I'm going to tell you what happens when you don't have boundaries. I'm going to use a scare tactic right now. If you can't tell that you don't have boundaries, if you really can't tell, like, do I have boundaries? Maybe I don't have boundaries. I'm gonna show you that you do or that you don't right now. You'll be able to tell. If you feel tired, unfulfilled, guilty, or constantly gaslit by the people in your life, you probably don't have something more than a plexiglass boundary set up for anyone in your life. And that can be changed. It can be changed, but I think those are signs. Like, if you always feel guilty, like, oh, I should have helped this person, were they going to pass away? Like, was that person going to pass away if you didn't help them, or was it just going to inconvenience them? Because it inconvenienced you to help them, but do you feel guilty that you couldn't do it this time because they tell you, look, man, I really needed you and you weren't there for me? Is that why you feel guilty? Is it because you don't have boundaries? If you have low self-esteem and attract people who don't value your boundaries, that's a big sign. I can't believe I wrote that. Holy crap. If you're constantly attracting people who don't respect your boundaries, it's not because you don't have boundaries, it's because your boundaries are paper. If you're in a line at the store, why would you go to the line that has all the people in it? You would go to the line that has one person or no one there. You'd race to the finish on that one. You would go straight over there. And that's the equivalent of having no boundaries. That doesn't mean everyone that comes to you is a bad person. That is absolutely not what it means. People are going to be opportunistic and they're going to do what they can do. Some people will rush to you. There's some people who you're like, dang, I wish that I had more boundaries. But people always come to me. They always come to me and say the deepest things, or they come to me with their troubles. It's because you're very open, and that's fantastic. That's one of the greatest traits a person can have, is openness and kindness. But it's also fantastic to be that kind person and get to decide who gets close to you. You get to filter out only the good people and get to have those people in your space, and you can kick the other people out. It's fantastic. You get the best of both worlds. And it's really what you want at the end of the day. You want to be happy, you want to have good people in your life, and you want to stand up for yourself, and you get all of that. You get all of it. So you don't have to close yourself off. You don't have to have an electric fence. You can be open, you can be kind, you can be patient, and then when people get too comfortable, I have to blow my nose. But yeah, when people get too comfortable, you put up an electric fence. Does that make you a bad person? What did they do? What did they do at the plexiglass? What did they do when they saw that the plexiglass was there? What did they do when they saw the paper was there? The paper boundary. Did they treat you with kindness and patience? Did they see your openness as a possibility to... It's sideways again. Oh my god. I love it. I love that it's not always centered because it gives me something to fiddle with. What did they do when they saw the plexiglass boundary? I mean, there's little kids who always touch the glass don't do that. Like, they can't hurt you, but it's disgusting. So, did they just touch the glass? Did they force their way through it? Like, did they crack the glass to get to you? Because what they did was they stepped over your boundary, but it's your job, it is your responsibility to decide if you're going to enforce the rules that you have set for yourself and for the people in your life. If you are giving until you're empty, you don't have more than a plexiglass boundary. We've all lived this life. We have all had no boundaries before. Some people become evil because people have crossed their boundaries. Some people have become extremely sensitive because people didn't respect their boundaries. And there are people who have found balance in respecting their own boundaries and the boundaries of others who can still give kindness and love to the world. I think that you would enjoy being the type of person who can still be themselves and love themselves and only have people in their life that feel that same way about you. But absolutely, the very last one I would say is if you have an extremely pessimistic worldview, it could possibly be because not because you're autistic, not because you're just a pessimist or because life was hard. It literally could just be because of your boundaries constantly getting crossed. It makes you really, really cynical when you see people mistreat you and you see them succeed in life, or they have, like, they have the wife and the kids and the life and the 6, 7 figures, and they're extremely successful. Like, that's extremely painful for a lot of people, and that's because boundaries were crossed, and it's because we didn't do anything about it. And once again, you don't harm anyone, you enforce the rules. And a lot of the time when people break those rules, they already knew them to begin with. I can't think of a situation where people broke a rule they haven't known about, except for maybe, like, I get, like, taxes. I don't know, like making a mistake in taxes, like an actual mistake, not like falsifying information. People know rules. People know the freaking rules. Like, don't give people a pass on, okay, well, you're getting married to me, so I expect you to treat this like a monogamous relationship. It's just me and you. They know the rules. So don't let people gaslight you into thinking that they don't know the rules. Don't let that happen. And if it does happen, goodbye, because you will find someone else. A person like you with your morals or your beliefs or your values or whatever. Because you exist, there's someone else just like that out there for you. Romantically or friend-wise, or just like your coworkers. Like, I've heard people say that, like, a lot of their coworkers are neurodivergent and everyone gets along with each other. Like, because you exist, there are other people like you, and they will come to you. They will come to you because what happens is you have those boundaries set. Someone else sees those boundaries, and, like, one type of person will be like, oh, I definitely don't want to be with that person. I don't want to be around that person, right? Because, like, their boundaries, like, it's too strict, right? And then there's another one where they're like, this person has really strict boundaries. Like, holy crap, like, I kind of want to, like, live up to them. Like, I don't know, like, I feel cute. Like, might live up to their standards. Or they, like, a third person, they might be like, I'm the exact same way. Like, this person makes sense. I want to be around this person. And that's, like, what's really cool about boundaries is that you do get to set them, you get to change them, and you get to have them specified for certain people. So I hope that this has helped you. I hope that you enjoy this video. My stomach hurts. Please know that I think that you will have good boundaries after this video because it just makes too much sense. The analogies, like the literalness of it, like the matter of factness of this just makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. And so I hope this helps. That's how I like to view boundaries. If you guys do want to hang out, I will be live streaming on Twitch after this video. I always live stream, like, literally every day on Twitch. My name is Autineep. That's AUTIENEEP, Autineep. And I also have a YouTube channel where I'll be uploading my VODs and, like, just, like, the edited gameplays. And so you guys can subscribe to that channel too. I've just started it and I put up only 3 videos as of right now, but you guys are more than welcome to hang out there. We also have an autistic people only Discord, and I would love for you to join. If you are self-diagnosed or already diagnosed or not seeking a diagnosis, but you're sure that you're autistic, you're more than welcome to join. And we are very strict on boundaries because we want everyone to feel safe. We have really fostered a positive environment and also have a support chat for if you just cannot handle life at the moment. And we are all very, very aware of each other and very high in engagement, and so I'm very happy. But yes, we're very, very happy to see you guys. I'm absolutely astonished with how much support I've gotten and how much support our community has gotten from you guys meeting each other. It's amazing. But yeah, you guys come hang out on Twitch. I will see you guys there. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.